Hello, very good morning. This is Breakfast with Charlie State and Louise Minchin.
The Barclays banking scandal threatens to engulf more British banks. Thursday, the 28th of June.
Also ahead, European Union leaders are preparing to meet for a closely watched summit on the fate of the euro in Brussels.
Germany and France have failed to resolve their differences on some of the key issues despite pre-summit talks.
Our political correspondent. Thank you.
Police are hunting a convicted murderer who's escaped from Pentonville prison in North London. John Massey is serving a life.
A man has been arrested on suspicion of manslaughter following the death of a 2-year-old boy in an explosion in Oldham. The BBC has found secret files from the 1960s showing a Conservative MP and minister sold sensitive information to communist spies.
The documents are from the archives of the Czech Security Service. Raymond Morby, who was the MP for Totnes, provided extensive details about Parliament. Our security correspondent Gordon Carrera.
Let's look at our main stories for you this morning. It's 11 minutes past 8 and Carol will have the weather for us live from Wimbledon in the next few minutes, and she will be joined by a rather unusual guest as well.
Now, nursing leaders have called the findings of a watchdog's report into patient services shocking and described it as a wake-up call for the government.
The Care Quality Commission says problems ranging from mismanagement of medicines to bad record keeping mean that patients are getting substandard care at 1 in 4 providers in England. So how could standards improve? Deputy Chief Executive Jill did, and I know it's only a small number of cases, but when you did this, 1% of all locations inspected, you had to use its powers on an urgent basis to protect people from harm. What happened? Just give me an example of one of those cases. What was going on? I don't know, people who've got elderly parents going into care homes. I mean, what is your advice? And they will be very concerned hearing those type of cases.
Well, if it's 16 minutes past 8, let's see what's coming up on the programme today.
We made it.
Directors.
It does, doesn't it? Here's Carol at Wimbledon. We said she had an unusual guest. Let her do the...
I don't know how Carol was doing the voice at the same time as doing the weather. It's amazing, isn't it? She's a ventriloquist.
There's a whole
on top
new
of
show
all the
going
other
on there,
things
isn't there?
There she is. Very good. Of course, lots more from Wimbledon because we've got the sport coming from down there as well a little later on.
8:21. After years of campaigning, a memorial to those who died during the RAF bombing raids of World War II is being unveiled by the Queen later today.
The monument honours over 55,000 of Bomber Command's aircrew, as well as those who lost their lives on the ground. Robert Hall is at the memorial for us this morning in central London. Very good morning to you, Robert. Just a reminder, there'll be lots of coverage of the unveiling of the Bomber Command Memorial on the BBC across the day today on the BBC News Channel. Full coverage of the ceremony just before midday.
And there will also be, and here on Breakfast, Sally will be joined by former Wimbledon. Hello, very good morning to you. You're watching Breakfast with Charlie State and Louise Minchin.
It's emerged Barclays is the first of what could be several major banks to be fined for lying about lending rates, which affect trillions of pounds in transactions and which banks use to set mortgage prices.
More than a quarter of care homes and NHS hospitals in England are failing to meet legally required standards of quality and safety. Thousands of
European Union leaders are preparing to meet for a closely watched summit on the fate of the euro in Brussels. The German Chancellor.
Police are hunting a convicted murderer who used a makeshift rope to escape from Pentonville prison in North London.
A man's been arrested on suspicion of manslaughter following the death of a 2-year-old boy in an explosion in Oldham. Obama
is to tour an area of Western America that has been devastated by wildfires.
Discovered files showing a Conservative MP and minister in the 1960s provided information to communist spies in exchange for money.
So those are the main news stories for this morning. Now here's a look at what's coming up later on in the programme. And it's 8:36. There was good news at Wimbledon yesterday for home fans. Sally can tell us about that. Thank you. Now, Barclays Bank has been fined nearly £300 million for lying about lending rates to manipulate the market. It could have affected trillions of pounds in transactions, including perhaps the price of mortgages.
We're joined now by Paul. This is also, Barclays are the one who've been fined right now, but they weren't working in isolation.
Sure, at RBS, HSBC and Citibank as far as...
Time now is 8:47. Let's go back to Wimbledon because Carol is there giving us the weather. Have you got rid of that pesky little dog yet, Carol? Oh, look.
Charlie.
8:50 is the time. She's won 5 Grammy Awards, sold more than 13 million records. An American singer, Mary Chapin Carpenter, is about to release her 12th album in the UK.
It is one of her most personal yet, and she's here to tell us about the inspiration behind it. Morning to you.
Mary Chapin, I was listening quite closely to the lyrics there, because there's a lot of talk about the tone and the mood of this new material.
Yes.
You're chasing what's already gone. And there's a sentiment there. What's that all about?
Certainly.
With your dad as well? Kind of a tougher tour, do you think, or not? Stephen Carpenter's new album, Ashes and Roses, is out on Tuesday.
So it's an art form that divides opinion. Graffiti, considered by some an eyesore, but by others to be beautiful.
Now, some of the world's most influential street artists have been to work on a site in East London, but will their efforts inspire or offend people? Tim Muffet went to meet them.
We were just talking about the merits of graffiti with our two next guests.
I think. Right now, let's get a quick last look at what is happening where you are. We're back in a couple of minutes. Welcome back. It is one of the most successful film franchises of all time, and now there is a new chapter in the Ice Age story.
This time Manny and the gang find themselves cast adrift into the ocean after a squirrel's pursuit of an acorn goes very badly wrong.
It's always the acorn, isn't it? All the favourite characters are back, but there are also some new stars in the mix, including Jennifer Lopez. We'll be talking to the film. First, have a little look at it. So you must feel pretty fond, like the people who watch this, of those characters.
Oh my gosh.
Oh,
yeah. They're like...
Two directors, as you are, of an animated film. What are you actually, day to day, what are you doing?
Well, we've got an incredible...
Lots of new characters as well, including Granny, who's a bit of a star, isn't she?
Yes. It's an incredible cast. We've got so many new performers.
Thing works, those characters. So are you looking at the animated pictures whilst the
movie?
Hopefully it's fantastic, and they're very...
Do you think that the 3D element of a film like this is really slightly out of kilter, are still the ones with the squirrel?
Oh, yeah.
Just the squirrel with the acorn.
Absolutely.
That are in some ways quite simple.
For Continental Drift is out on July the 13th. If you're quick, though, there are previews in cinemas from this weekend.
That's all from us this morning. Tomorrow we'll be live from inside Buckingham Palace. The Queen, of course, opening the doors to the public.
Thank you very much for watching this morning. We'll see you tomorrow. Have a great day. Bye-bye.